everyone. I'm Eszter Bakó, and I want to introduce my PhD work. The topic of my PhD work is to investigate the effects of topical herbal preparations on human musculoskeletal system and circulation. I'm a pharmacist, and my vision is that the best product is based on the best science. So my vision is to provide more scientific evidence for clinical use of herbal therapies. To fulfill this goal, I am working on three projects. In my first project, I investigate the effects of topically applied essential oils in musculoskeletal disorders. This is a meta-analysis. So essential oil therapy is a complementary treatment technique to treat musculoskeletal pain. However, just a few high-quality reviews are available. Therefore, our aim is to provide more evidence for clinical use of these topical essential oils. Our question is how effective are topically applied essential oils as a complementary treatment in musculoskeletal disorders. We compared essential oil therapy to the placebo or the no intervention. And after the search and the selection phase, we get 12 eligible articles. After performing the statistical evaluation, here we can see the summary. Our main or primary outcome is pain, and secondary outcome is stiffness. Yes, pain is the main outcome. And pain intensity was measured in different time points during the trials. Therefore, we have created three subgroups according to this. Immediately after the intervention, 1 week after the intervention, and 4 weeks after the intervention. And as you can see, in two cases, we get significant difference between the two groups. So we can conclude that essential oil therapy is beneficial in reducing pain. In case of stiffness, we had only 3 articles, but the tendency is also obvious. So we can concluded that essential oil therapy is beneficial in reducing musculoskeletal pain and stiffness. However, the meta-analysis has some limitations, such as blinding, small sample size, and heterogeneity. The manuscript was submitted to MDPI Pharmaceuticals about 2 weeks ago, but we haven't got any comments yet, and this is our 5th submission. So in my second project, I investigate the volatile components of Pinaceae and Capraceae families. Essential oils are complex mixtures of volatile components, and terpenes are the main group of these volatile compounds, and these are important chemicals because they are used as a chemotaxonomic markers because their biosynthesis is under genetic control. So our aim is to investigate the relationship between the chemotaxonomic classification and the chemical composition in conifers. And chemotaxonomy means the classification based on biochemical composition. So we have questions. Our main question is what taxonomic differences or similarities are supported by the diversity of these volatile components. Our second question is which volatile components are typical for these species, and the third one is do differences in biosynthetic pathways appear at the volatile component level. So the research implication is that we will provide further knowledge on biodiversity, and we will reveal further similarities and differences in the volatile profiles of conifers. So I've collected different plant parts from the listed species, and we can measure the volatile components directly from the plants. So I placed the collected samples into glass vials. And then we performed the GCMS analysis. The GCMS analysis has 3 main steps. The first important step is to catch the volatile components using this small fiber. The second step is the GC measurement. The GC part of the instruments is responsible for the separation of the volatile components based on chemical and physical properties. And we get a GC chromatogram. Each peak represents one compound. And the third step is the MS measurement. And the MS part of the instruments is responsible for the identification of the peaks. So it is analyzes the component structure. So after this GCMS analysis, we can identify each component. And we will be able to tell which peak is which component. So every necessary measurement was done. However, the data evaluation, so the peak identification is in progress. So after finishing it, we can do the statistical part, and then we can reveal any similarities and differences in the chemical components of these species. So in my second project, we investigate the effects of topical essential oils on human circulation. Sport creams have often essential oils as active ingredients. However, in case of juniper and pine essential oils, there is no scientific evidence for this effect. Therefore, our aim is to investigate this hyperemic effect. So our question is, how do the topical essential oils influence the circulation of skin in humans? And we will measure skin blood flow on the forearm skin of the healthy volunteers. And we performed the preliminary measurement by laser speckle. And the conclusion is that cinnamon essential oil can clearly increase skin blood flow based on our result. But the method optimization is in progress, and we need more measurements to finish this project. And after finishing the first 2 projects, I can continue the third one. So thank you very much.
I would just like to make a kind of supporting note for your first project. As you said that, I mean, that you have been submitting that and then you get several rejections. That is today's science. I mean, that happens actually. Some people are very lucky, some others are not, but believe me that the science what you do is actually very good. So just keep pushing that, and then maybe with your next paper, actually, it is going to be much faster. So on this line, actually, did you, how was the, I mean, that is important for all of us, actually, to learn on this aspect too, that did you get actually some extended reviews, or most of them were just that there is not a scope and interest or so? So how was this?
In most cases, they just rejected without any comments. But I have a comment about the heterogeneity of this meta-analysis, and this was the reason for not to review.
I mean, if I can just add, this is one of the reasons why we do these studies. I mean, not only to get the absolute truth, but also to identify the problems, and also identify the differences between different studies and actually give the direction where to go to. So actually that should be a kind of a plus, not a minus.
Yes, I agree with you.
May I ask something related to the first project? Your conclusion is very promising. As you said, you got that essential oils have exert near significant positive results on the stiffness of the muscle symptoms. But as you stated in your second project, essential oils are very different even when prepared from the same plant. So when you evaluate generally essential oils, you got these results. Probably, or what is your opinion, if you could concentrate on a more specified, better defined set of essential oils, so not generally all of them, maybe you could have more convincing, more significant results.
Yes, thank you for your question, and I agree with you because essential oils are complex mixtures, and based on previous studies, specific components could be responsible for the pain relieving effect. So it would be good in the future to perform such clinical trials to use specific essential oils because of this effect, pain relieving effect.
Yeah, you are right, and I just would like to add that these kind of studies also are useful to point out that even in cases where we think that it's a general knowledge that essential oils are effective in such cases, it turns out that there are not too many trials. So these kind of meta-analyses are useful to show that here there are some pieces of knowledge that are missing. So I think that this is also a very important point.